fiddly last second, you know.
I'll put the sticks in for you, you build them.
Yeah, brilliant.
With Lisa's help, Chris gets them onto his board with his poached and tinned salmon and up to the pass.
Okay, off you go.
Thank you.
I wasn't 100% happy with it, you know. I felt like that the last time and I got really good feedback from the judges, so, you know, you never know.
It looks like a canopy party, frankly, of salmon. I mean, I would serve this to my 2-year-old's party. It just doesn't do it for me. Salmon, salmon and salmon. As far as I'm concerned, it's just far too much salmon.
Richard, could we have less talk and pass it up?
There we go. And, okay, pass that down.
The presentation is a bit diminished from what I remember. It's a bit namby-pamby. I think it is, as Richard said it's canapé time.
The horseradish is great, but I think the salmon is too salty.
No. No.
Yeah.
I like the presentation. You know, I think there's things to endear one to it, but it is, in my opinion, not in the running to be there at the final shout.
It's not as good as the last time I tasted it, as well.
And you didn't like it then?
I'm happy with it. I don't see why we should reject it just because it looks a bit like canapés.
Okay, it's actually, my problem is that it's actually 3 canapés that taste almost exactly the same.
I think that's right, Matthew. I think the dish is, it's monochrome, but I also think the dish is slightly gone backwards. There is actually less clarity between the different fishes than there was before.
It's not demonstrative enough, it's not fun enough, it's not delicious enough, it's not theatrical enough. It doesn't make me happy enough.
Not the response Chris was looking for. Will his fellow chefs be any kinder?
Some more tinned fish, guys.
Irish salmon. What do you think, lads?
It's very similar to the presentation of Paul's, isn't it?
Nothing really jumps out at me, though. You know, it's like it is a plate of salmon. Nothing really gives that sort of wow factor. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm afraid this was absolutely a case of, honey, I shrunk the dish. It was diminished in every way, so it's only a 5 from me.
I found myself disappointed in it. It was fine, but not good. It's a 5.
If this is a celebration of salmon, then this is a celebration that I do not want to attend. It's a 4.
Oh, I really didn't enjoy this dish. Chris Fearon's 3-way salmon. It has no place on my table, so therefore, it's a 4.
So Chris should have taken Richard's advice. How will the North West's Lisa Allen measure up? After a cracking start yesterday, she wants another top 3 spot for her risky tunnel-boned salt-crusted sea trout. She won't know it's cooked properly until it's dished up. The risk paid off in the heat, but left the judges wanting more.
For some reason I feel a big salt-crusted fish would look amazing on a big long table. But Lisa sort of diminished the idea. She miniaturized it.
It needs to be bigger. And also, I didn't see what the connection with the scallop was. It was as if she had 2 great gastronomic dishes she wanted to show off with, and she just put them there, side by side.
Tweaked it slightly. I think they wanted the dish to be more together. So I've done away with the salt boxes, I've lifted up the fish, I got rid of the scallop shells. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they think of this one.
She stuffed the fish with cockles in the regional heats, but today there's a problem.
Actually, they're really gritty. I'm not a chef that will serve up something that's not right, and I'm definitely not going to serve gritty cockles to the judges. So I'm going to change it.
She's used brown shrimp instead, a risky substitution, but nothing seems to faze last year's champion.
How many times did you get onto the top 3 last year?
Twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
So you're going to top that this year, I hope?
She's followed the judge's advice and tweaked her dish's presentation to give it more wow factor.
Pretty cool.
A bit of a beach.
They're lovely, so yeah.
And she's got rid of her scallop shells too, serving her potato salad on specially designed plates. under her now elevated salt-crusted sea trout.
Got it?
Now let's...
Be careful, boys.
Well done, Lisa.
Yes, really nice.
Wicked.
Really nice, yeah. Well done.
Hold on, guys. Look at this one.
Wow.
Oh, boy. That looks good.
Is that Moby Dick going past?
I hope the dish is good enough to be in the top 3, but there is a lot of fantastic dishes out there, so you can never call it. But yeah, fingers crossed.
I think this deserves a fanfare.
That is something.
That is much improved.
Yes. Scallops are gone for a start.
Oh, come on, that's what we wanted to see in the first place.
That is an arrival.
That's what we've been waiting for.
That's an entrance.
Shall I be mother?
You try. I mean, I think you're going to have a fine old mess.
Okay. Boing, boing, boing. This is pure drama and excitement. Oh, hang on a second. The last time this was rainbow trout, but this looks to me, very much like sea trout.
Absolutely.
And
much nicer.
Oh, much nicer, much nicer. And what's more, hang on, something very special going on underneath that. There are no longer any cockles, there are shrimps.
Brown sea
Brown shrimps.
I love this dish, Matthew.
Isn't it terrific?
This is exactly what the Great British Menu is all about. Thoughtful, great cooking, lovely process, and what magical presentation.
Do you know, this is just delicious. It tastes of the sea. It's fresh as a daisy.
I think it needs to be either on a plate or some other serving, but in terms of quality, it's absolutely top drawer, Great British Menu.
Oliver, darling, sometimes you just cannot resist your instinct to put the boot in. Just admit for once that you've met the perfect dish. It's lovely.
The cooking is perfect. The presentation...
Stop there.
I am tasting everything I want to see in the Great British Menu. I'm tasting it right now.
Absolutely, and I think this is the mark of a really confident cook. I mean, there are not many cooks who have the confidence to do something which is as bold and as simple as this.
That's a dish you bring the presidents of the world around and just give them.
And say, British food at its best.
That's high praise. Will her fellow chefs be as adoring?
Look at that, look at it. How amazing is this? This is just brilliant.
Tastes good.
Incredible. I personally can't find fault in it.
I don't see why this isn't a contender for the top 3 from what we've seen so far.
I can't see that not scoring 10 out of 10. I cannot score in 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10.
But it's the judges' scores that count.
Lisa Allen's sea trout was the most majestic, delicious, gorgeous morsel of food that I have tasted, and therefore it gets a big 9 for me.
She's hit that sort of sport button on her cooking today, because this dish was just so beautiful, so perfect. I can really see it at the banquet. It's a 9.
Wow.
What's the matter with you two miserable guys? I mean, that dish was fantastic. It was a double-decker of absolute gastronomic delight. It's a 10.
Well, I think this dish had everything. It was fun, it was a great show, it was a delight to eat. It was a cracking good dish in every sense. 9.
Three down, 5 to go, and the chefs have an agonising wait ahead of them.
I think the competition's really hotting up now because you know you're seeing so many different dishes going out that people are going, oh.
You two are up last again this afternoon, aren't you? You've got to watch all these amazing dishes go by and feel the pain.
Yeah. And then get the same result as yesterday.
Perfect. Double whammy. We can't wait.
Michael's up next, representing Scotland, along with Andrew Pern from the North East. Yesterday's bottom 2.
Okay, here we go. Round 2. I'd love to get top 3 place today. You know, I mean, it's what we're all aiming for.
I don't want to be in the bottom position again today. I've got to get better results. I've got to pull out all the stops.
Newcomer Andrew Pern came 7th yesterday and is desperate to impress the judges today.
Look at this beauty.
He's banking on his posh soup and sandwiches with lobster and scallops to pull in the points.
It's a bit of a sense of occasion, that's what it's all about, you know. It's something to celebrate the people in the community. I think this soup, you know, and the warm seafood will fit the bill.
But the judges didn't think it was a party dish.
In the words of the Gibb brothers, tragedy! I think, you know, it's a restaurant dish. It's a classic restaurant dish. It's like he just hasn't bothered.
We have in the past seen, you know, dishes which have been tweaked, as the chefs have claimed.
Changing it at the last moment has always helped me on the way through.
So let us hope that Andrew Pern has done the same.
Andrew served kipper sandwiches in the regional heats and is upping his game today with a new lobster version.
And what did you change from the kipper to the lobster?
The kipper was quite strong. You know,
I like kipper though.
I love kipper as well, but the judges didn't seem to like kipper that much.
But he's keeping his soup the same, and returning champion Tom seems more impressed with the pot he's serving it in.
Now then, Tommy.
Ooh. Yeah, that's almost as shiny as my big bald head. What are you serving in it?
I'm doing a soup, like a fish soup. We've got these little lobster club sandwiches and some wild garlic mayonnaise going in there. So
Wild garlic mayonnaise, sandwiches and soup.
It sounds simple, but there's a lot going on, and his rivals aren't convinced it'll hit the mark.
Is it the street party? Is it the brief that I've read? I don't know.
No doubt he's going to plate it up really well, but is it heading too much down the restaurant line?
So are you nearly ready to serve, chef?
I'm actually ahead for once. Famous last words.
Yeah.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah, don't speak too soon. Plenty of time to mess it all up.
With Tom's words of warning ringing in his ears, he ladles out his soup, portions up his lobster, scallops and samphire, and gets it to the pass with his lobster sandwiches.
Okay, so here we go. Good luck. Don't drop it, please. Good, thank you.
Right on
Nice.
Well done.
I don't know where I'll come. Middle of the road, top three would be lovely. See what they think.
What was all the criticism about? I mean, I haven't tasted anything yet, but...
But what?
Beautiful sandwich, some soup, some seafood.
Right, as you would get in any posh restaurant up or down the country or throughout Europe.
You know what? This smells smoky today, and it's overpowering the freshness of everything else.
It's the bacon. The kipper's gone. It's lobster.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
And that makes much more sense.
And very delicious lobster too. It's a very good sandwich.
The sandwich is the highlight. Soup's a tragedy.
Well, I must say the soup is not as good as it should be.
For me, the broth itself doesn't have that sort of singing clarity of flavour and sweetness that you really need from a shellfish broth.
It looks great. I mean, it looks great, but it's more haughty restaurant than it would be street party.
This just doesn't feel like a dish that you want to share with people. It doesn't have any love. It doesn't have any inspiration.
As it stands, I don't think that this dish is even an also-ran.
But compared to the salmon, the potted salmon 3 ways from...
well, that's a non-starter.
God, you're getting... Matthew, there was always a sense of fair play about you.
We've all recognised that the club sandwich has shown an tremendous improvement.
Let's hear it for the club sandwich.
Yeah,
let's hear it for the club sandwich. Club
We
sandwich.
love the club sandwich. It's the rest of the dish that is the problem.
Not the response Andrew would like to hear. Will his peers agree?
It's high-end. It's restaurant.
You're dying to get into that club sandwich, aren't you? You go on, Chris.
Well, you cut it up there in the 3, sure. It's just garlic, 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 you know what I mean?
Great dish, great flavours. But I'd probably say I don't think it fits the criteria of the brief.
The brief, yeah. I agree with you, Hal, yeah, definitely.
But I think in the final analysis, Andrew's dish was, for me, all at sea and probably should have been allowed to stay there. It's a 6.
Great sandwich, very disappointing soup. It's a 5.
Andrew is a man who just does not feel the love. I am giving him a very generous 3.
I liked the lobster club sandwich. I just didn't get the soup. In that case, it's a 5.
Andrew's tweaks haven't done him any favours. Will first-time